Hello, and welcome to TOUHOU Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll make Anarchy proud this month, wherever he is.
TOUHOU.
This week.
Too gay. Too gay today. Toge Tohei. Hi, it's me, TOUHOU's gibberish representative, also vying for the affections of a dead gay porn star. Happy to be here.
Yes, and for this particular episode, when we say gay, we do specifically mean men. Because we're doing the token boy episode of the Dating Advice Month.
I heard that if you open the preferences menu, it just makes Ricardos Milos come out and punch you in the skull. And he caves your skull in.
Oh fuck, you're right!
Yeah, that's gonna be the most challenging at you giving yourself this week. Good luck, fine.
Well, I've already got ideas for that, don't worry.
No one inspires me quite as much as oiled up men, oiled up and shaking it men. Oiled up, please listen to me. Alexa, Siri, Cortana, oiled up men shaking it hard style at my face men, oil. And lots of oil.
Oh, thank so you do you wanna help with this episode then?
Oh my god, there's like a vehicle there. There's like a vehicle next to a mobile phone. Well, it's not mobile at all. It's actually an extremely stationary phone that has been hit by a car before.
I know exactly what vehicle that is, too. That's like there's some Transformers history to that vehicle.
It's like a Vespa for a man that's 2 feet tall and wishes he was on a lawnmower.
If I understand correctly, that is not a vehicle that was sold individually. It was a vehicle that was sold as an accessory to a car.
You know, in the interesting parts of history when children were dying constantly. See, it's a fun idea. We brought a little car along to bring your dangerous tyke onto the ocean road. Feel the wind in his hair and the gravel ravaging his skin when he flies clean off this motorized vehicle. 1938 will be our year.
It's especially
true for gay men.
Especially true for the Japanese car companies. Did any Japanese car companies exist yet in 1938? They must have.
I'm playing a visual novel about gay dudes. I can't tell you a single thing about cars. It is a Touhou fan game about boys kissing boys. All of the car information I had prior has left the 5 brain cell premise again. They have been kicked out of this queer-controlled brain cage.
It's just the GNU and Renpai.
How good would it be if you clicked about and it started telling you about what a gay man is?
I just thought you were about to say about the historical era.
What if you opened about and it was homophobia is one of the ails we face? It's just very real.
Yeah.
To be honest, I expect this to be more real than not. This Midwestern emo languishing tune that haunts the main menu has been gripping me in ways I've not often been gripped by rural Japanese hellscapes since Shiki and Higurashi both.
And
I figure that now we're in the dude kissing dudes territory, it's time for J-Dog to express himself. I brought up Shiki. That's the furthest depths of my soul, niche anime.
Yeah, it's
salty dude lips.
Very insistent on the fact that it's a historical yaoi visual novel, which is interesting.
You know, it's true that most of history has been bad, but it's interesting. You hear historical queer interest, and it's like, ooh, this one's gonna punch me in the tummy right from the front. If they punch you in the tummy from the back, it's actually an expression of great affection. That's my dating advice. That little poster next to the television and car-impacted telephone looks like either Bing Crosby or Lieutenant Columbo himself.
It does a bit. Let's play.
Yeah, this can't be right. That's a phenoid. Clear! She's checking her inventory after leaving the house, like everyone should always do.
Yeah. Always remember the acronym WOWIE. Wallet, phone, keys, egg backup.
I don't like eggs.
You should always have 2 of them on standby. You might need them.
Just in case you run past someone's car or house or vibes you do not like.
Yeah.
Stellarly okay.
You're continuing your quest to voice Marisa.
I will not stop until I have transmogrified into anime. This music is blowing me away.
It's interesting.
I'm digging the heck out of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jesus, what are we playing? What's the name of this?
Eastern Stored Feelings.
Okay.
I wasn't that into the title credits. I was into parts of it, but not other parts. This I'm digging.
I'm digging the heck out of all of this. It's sort of like off-kilter and legitimate. There's a sort of earnestness to its struggle to continue existing, I guess. I guess life is often an off-tune beauty even through its awkwardness, right? You want to believe that.
And like, the H.AO page was bragging about how it was trying to have like really historical instrumentation, and it's like, yeah, that's really cool.
I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like there's a game attached to this concept album that I'm digging so much, and that I could never make anybody listen to. What is a Hakuro? Does this make sense that you use it to brew?
The mini Hakuro is her weapon.
She used it to brew up trouble. She's just shooting it into the welfare line.
We got it at the very beginning of Fantasy Taker.
I remember. I used this to kill girls, and I got in trouble every time, and I was like, what's the problem? And now we're playing a game about dudes kissing.
Look at the tongue. A certain blonde magician realized her mistake.
Which one?
Why was it so?
Why was it so now?
The half-man, half-yokai she was getting ready to pester had been the one to design this powerful 8-trigram furnace and offer it to her.
Trigram. Great Yashihiro Naito effort.
Not so much. Whether it be for Danmaku battles, daily life, or witchcraft experiments, it had come to be a very special treasure to her. And the few wintry times she held its warmth and thought nostalgia of Renosuke, she always ended up flushing a bright red. Without wasting time, the girl dressed in a black and white gown hurried back into the Kurisame magic shop. Oh.
Jesus, leave me in a magic shop, to be honest. Just throw my corpse in there, tell people the store killed me.
Right. For a second I thought it was talking about her dad's shop. I was like, oh, is she still living with her dad at this point? No, that's her, yeah. Her two-story house, deep in the forest magic, stood with wooden and rustic charm. Such was the pragmatic layout of her home. On the upper floor was her bedroom, as well as another room dedicated solely to the pursuit of magical wisdom.
Is it pragmatic to have the biggest goddamn telescope in the world? Look at that thing over there.
If you're actively use for it. There was some research that tended to involve mushrooms, elements, or even quirkier possessions in which you pretended to sell to the bustling existence of a customer.
I'm liking these words put together this way.
She had basically put on an exhibition of her collection, including whole bookshelves graciously donated by an anemic librarian, very much intentionally.
Librarians might be the most impressive people in the world.
Yeah.
They really do read books. That's unbelievable.
On display were the desiccated remains of a doll once controlled by Alice, her dear friend. Jeesh.
Were that one alive once, now we're no longer.
Finding her hand on the mini Hagro, she was finally set to go. Oh fuck, this is like the You Died, like, picture from, like, the early days of, fucking, AI Dungeon. This is where Patrick died under a rock.
I tell you, I often wish I was trapped in a foggy, mysterious forest. I don't know, there's not really a joke attached to that. I just think I could really get by subsisting on shrooms, tree dew, and damp soil.
Yeah.
I'd rather like to turn into some sort of cycle of life beastie.
Thus flew a young merry witch across the damp forest of magic, where few sun rays found their way, and where the meek but strange stenches of mushrooms haunted. The world here often seemed to perform a medley
outsold!
for Marty's ears, one she often liked to listen to. The wind ruffled among the leaves in the broom, the singing of the birds echoed, carried away. Sometimes, even the cicada's loudness granted warmth and melancholy to the scene. However, little by little, Marty's destination showed signs of itself.
I'm telling you, this game's made by somebody that's in love with the world.
Recording,
you can tell
though.
Sometimes like this. I think it's whether they're scared of mushrooms or not that is the greatest indicator of a person's attachment to all societies. Micro, macro, usually micro.
Recording, though, the antique store famous in Gensokyo for its unique catalog featuring intricate items from the outside world, had been built on the very frontier between the human village and the forest of magic.
Liminal, more magical.
Since humans naturally feared the yokai that thrived the most at night and haunted the darkness, they had dedicated to live in the light of day. Therefore, the woods...
There is a very special little girl haunting the darkness, and she drives a crushes, kills you orb into you if you go outside after 6 p.m.
It's less that the orb itself kills you and more that the girl inside the orb kills you. The orb just makes it so you can't see.
I'm halfway through having my third arm that I finally gained chewed down to the bone by this little blonde biscuit eater. And I'm like, oh, thank God that it's much more personal than just the orb. I felt unimportant until I felt your teeth gnashing through my tendons.
Upon reaching Renosuke's store, Marisa's lips drew an unconscious and serene smile.
It's alliterated, that's how you know it's true.
No customers, I guess. This is typical. After a thud, the wooden door gave way to a sunny, bubbly bundle of hair. The cheerful voice rang clear,
descriptions of characters.
with a slight tinge of teasing.
It covers the totality of them.
Yeah. As the bit of dust flew, a previously reading Renosuke expressed his surprise before sighing. Setting his stern gaze upon Marisa, his glasses enhancing his venerability, he closed the book and stood up.
Wow, he needs to stand up tall. He is much smaller than she.
Yeah, hold on. Preferences. I hate to do this to the music, but
That's homophobic.
I just barely heard his voice.
Well, homophobia is okay just this once. Cash in that ticket.
Is it from the outside? I like how Marisa's not voiced, but Renosuke is, because boys rule in this one.
Boys rule, girls rule. None of you need to drool unless you're asleep and having a weird dream.
What's it called? Just teach interesting stuff? In the course of mere
If it's about
seconds,
mycology, it
Marisa's
does.
interest had been piqued. Her eyes beamed like stars,
And then a big laser shoots out of her eyeball.
like Dinobot. Just for
awesome.
fun, Renosuke dangled the book from left to right to left, as Marisa's head turned along before she tried to grasp it with her extended arms.
Siri, Alexa, Cortana, Dinobot, oiled up, shaking it, lasers sometimes. Thank you.
Still barely hearing Renosuke. I'm gonna turn the volume way up.
Siri, call 911. Siri, call 911. Siri, call the police. Siri, turn off my phone. Siri, explode.
There were a few chairs by the counter where the distinguished and traditional-looking man sat. Marisa found herself better at ease by sitting atop a crate, her usual place. Just sitting on boxes, God, she's mean. A few items were stored atop it, and more inside, a fact which always caused Renosuke to flinch a bit. She's just like me, sitting on boxes that have fragile things in them.
Skeleton boxes.
Many times he had repeated not to sit nearby the merchandises, but never had Marisa listened.
Its title is Metaphysics of Love, and it was written by Greg State of the Outside World.
You're so quiet, boy.
It's a complicated title.
Metaphysics. I like the sound of this.
So even sages know of love, is that so? Magic at play?
You ask good questions.
Have a good bit
There's
of
one
limited
thing
magic.
good about you. As you know, I can guess the general internet use of an object.
Yeah.
With his magic eyes.
Since it's a book, it tells words.
That's true. He's done it, just like you said when I was falling into the lava in the vampire house over and over.
Yeah.
As
Thank
hear
you
its
for the
magic
memories
element,
of lava, my friend.
And it was at a person.
Oh, it's a sad book.
I do not respect this guy's fanny pack. It's not low enough, and it's not high enough.
And it's not pink enough for a fanny pack.
Fanny packs should only come in pink or black.
Yeah. Exactly, those are the two valid colors for fanny packs.
I bet you the saddest guy in the world has like a camo fanny pack.
God. Wouldn't expect you to be so romantic, Cody. Is your heart fuzzy with the
People
magical
with
love?
glasses have souls now.
Wait. Falling for me, I see. Sorry, Cody. My charms are replenting, but stars always burn brighter and brighter.
Love is blind, don't they say? Returning to topic, from what I gather, the book mostly tells you that love is a mechanism for the human species to thrive, and that there's nothing much more
Magnitude of love is a fascination.
It's a biological mistake. It's a chemical imbalance. Haruhi Suzumiya has entered the chat.
It's completely true. It's completely and utterly true. There is a lunacy to affection. Fascinating as it is.
Book like that, Mino needs. But do you believe in the magic of love? You know what the Mino needs makes me think of? It makes me think of the fucking Emperor's New Groove dialogue.
It makes me think of Me Gusta because I'm 100 years old.
This is the cheese Mino likey.
You won't be surprised by the number of villains I've seen in my career that dealt with love.
I feel like most things people make about love. I don't know. I'm not surprised, Four Eyes.
Or even when I began working as an apprentice at your father's store.
Marisa's traits twitched ever so slightly at the mention of her father, a man she held complex feelings towards. By choosing to name her Marisa, that could roughly come to mean little sands of magical understanding, he himself had set her future. So why would he refuse to deal with magical items? His education had unwaveringly been strict and pragmatic, though he had shown moments and expressions of tenderness. An affection that Marisa couldn't possibly doubt, as every year the head of the Keitasame household swallowed his pride to send her a birthday letter, as well as some insultingly useful but not magical items.
People are creative when it comes to expressing their feelings.
I could read 10,000 pages of this.
Since the name bears the power of the gods, when lovers call each other by an exclusive surname.
Like the one time that Marisa's father has actually appeared is in a chapter of the Renosuke book.
Did they kiss? Did he kiss Renosuke?
Friendly love. As long as the
Carnal
surname exists,
love.
the relationship strengthens.
You say that's how it works. It's the power of the
Can't even
gods.
think about carnality. I can see half of Bing Crosby in the distance. It's like kissing in a church. It's not right.
Kinda like Reimu's incantations? By the way, do you have surnames besides Corinne?
To say I didn't reveal that. Yes and no. The source is similar, but the intent is different. In the Akane Shrine Maiden's case, she directs the power of the gods knowingly, letting the essence
See, I think
of
this is
the
quite educational.
forgiveness.
Yeah, it's doing my job for me.
Kazmarov. The easiest Touhou Tuesday.
Of course, the most interesting thing about her Reimu's god is that we don't know anything about Reimu's god. Reimu's god is a big old mystery.
The nicest way for a god to be.
Considering the other gods in Touhou.
Gods are smug things.
Like
Or they're
Sanai.
nothing.
Sanai lives with her god, and her god is like her boss. I mean, Reimu's god is also her boss, but we just don't know really much about the god. Neither does Reimu, for the record.
She's just going around preventing the apocalypse over and over.
Yeah.
God's not even giving her a biscuit. This is the second time I brought up biscuits. I got treats on my mind.
You're so treat-pilled.
Thank you.
Whereas a surname is born of a custom that even to this day survives in the outside world, modern but devoid of spirituality. It could even be said
Dialogue is making me miss David Lynch. Hope that guy lives forever. Uh-oh. David Lynch just came and tried to fly into my freaking room, but he didn't realize that I had my window closed because it's so shiny. And David Lynch just like flapped his arms and flew right into my window, and his face exploded. He smushed really hard against the window. Oh no.
I asked in the present, you answered in a past tense. So you used to, but it's not relevant anymore? Well, so thank you very much for telling me more details about Reimu's incantations. She's grown way more powerful in terms of magical skills. I was starting to feel at a loss.
Well, the surname became a name. It's Inasuke.
Were you born with it? What's the difference between a name and a surname?
Well, you know, names are when what is born serves a name. Possesses a generic definition, but is to carry a soul. A surname is like a crown if you prefer. The name is the skin, or even the hair, and the surname is a crown. The metaphor is great because a crown glorifies and shines and signifies power.
One of the more recent chapters of these books is Rinosuke, like, going on a long tangent about why capitalism's a lie. It's good.
Champ.
Yeah.
Capitalism? I don't agree.
Were you born with it?
Were you born with it?
Mighty
Spiritual Maybelline.
Nice. Upon having a slight difference explained in vivid details to her, and her mind still confused about every notion at hand, went with a more concrete follow-up. It was rare to get Codeine in such a mood that he would open up, being a rather timid man yokai, so she had to fully profit off the opportunity. Still, in the back of her mind, she noted the book had really hit a sensitive chord in Rinosuke's heart.
Inasuke means to add the library. The same name is in your name. It is
Ooh.
Can you connect the dots?
Ooh. Naming yourself after your feelings about another man, huh? She's actually thinking about my family?
Yes, quite the meaning, don't you think so?
So it's fate that even now you're helping me out by entertaining me.
I do not wish to entertain you, though.
Power of the gods is really powerful, as expected. I get that some living things have names and surnames that let their essences transcend mere existence. But I don't get is how this godly power manifests in an object carrying feelings, since there's no liveliness.
Oh, great introspection from a certain lass. Indeed, the godly power
Which lass?
in an object that carries feelings. But its power is far beneath that of the beloved living. A beloved, or a begrudged, for that matter, living will be offered an object, whether it is to work as a lucky charm, or as the
I can't believe that this is like this of all things. This is the kind of thing I love to read, and we're putting away the part where I pretend I've never read a book. Engaged with art intellectually, just because this is so, I guess, analytically and sort of strangely paced per most people's definition of strangeness.
You might like Curiosities of Lotus Asia.
I am curious about curiosities, so it does line up.
That's the Rinosuke book
Remember
series.
an article in the Boom Boom Maru newspaper, somewhere like
Maru.
Her rich friend, the puppetry, she used straw dolls to carry out curses.
Straw dolls are only good for curses.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing? What is the exact portion of time long enough from a toy being popular with children where it becomes a cursed artifact? I don't know, I feel like you get 40 years of this is cool with the kids and then it's evil. Anytime I see a porcelain doll, I'm like, all of these are the devil's puppets.
Transformers just turned 40.
See, in Transformers' case, honestly, in most toys' case, any of those guys that got that good gold, the dust skin, that sort of shiny brassy tone, those are all cursed.
Oh, in Transformers especially. Have you heard of gold plastic syndrome?
Yes, I love gold plastic syndrome. I think it's the funniest thing in the world.
Although that's for toys that are roughly 30 years old, because that was a 90s problem very specifically.
This is what happens to bones once you turn 30 as well.
It's not once you turn 30, it's once you turn 10, also if you were born in the 90s specifically.
Write this down. This could affect you, Touhou viewer.
Yeah, if you're in the single digits.
You're watching a Touhou video on a Tuesday, you're old. There's no kids here.
This gold plastic syndrome is they stopped using this material once they realized this was a problem, and they only became obvious that there was a problem after around 10 years, because that's when the symptoms start to show.
Symptoms. I love symptoms.
We call it a syndrome.
Syndrome. I can play a sinful drum.
As expected, Alice. Also a bit scary. As Marisa winced in awe, Renosuke concluded his speech, shifting once more his bespectacled eyes from Marisa's face to the book in his hands. Silence reigned as he was about to soothe again and remain reading when Marisa talked, ruining the moment. Can you read me a few lines from Great Magic Love in order to understand the spirituality of the outside world?
It's rare for you to be patient enough to care about abstracted stuff like philosophy, when anyone can.
His best voice from straight from the abdomen, brimming with pride and passion.
He keeps his fanny pack.
Yeah.
Is your pride and passion in there?
The germ of a being has a nearer and prior claim upon us than the individual, so that the affairs of the species are not important than those of the individual.
Yes.
Just remember I should change my
This is another clacking. That's about the species.
Yeah.
Sensible to this, the ancients personified the genius of the species, and Cupid, notwithstanding its having the form of a child, as a hostile and cruel god, and therefore one to be decried as a
capricious and despotic. It's like looking at a mirror.
Matter was death, blindness, and wings.
Love is an unfit lord.
The latter signify inconstancy, which as a root comes with the dissolution following possession.
There is no spirituality in the outside world? Are you sure? Because this winged, blind-darted Cupid appears to be a worthy foe.
It came directly from the ancients, from when the outside world still held firm belief in myths and philosophy.
I do kind of miss, I guess, the absurd magic of an unconnected world. Hell of a lot of people dying in ditches and never being found again, but hey, sometimes that was a journey.
It's a lot like Fate's whole thing about how, like, oh, the modern world is too, disillusioned for new heroes to happen except when they do.
Everyone thinks they have the right to know things in the modern world. A lot of things at people's fingertips, thinking they can actually touch most of anything that exists for as pitifully short as a human lifespan is. Most people will never accomplish anything except for, hopefully, that one thing that made it make sense.
My...
Pompous, too vague. It's like looking at a mirror.
Yeah, my fucking acoustic foam is about to fall over because I don't have it actually hung up properly yet.
Wow. And it slams through the floor and just gets going.
Yes, the acoustic foam that's light as a piece of paper.
The floor is even weaker.
Considering I live in a Depression-era house, so a pre-Depression-era house even, so when not that far off.
Depression weakens us.
Pre-Depression.
It's en route. It might be the day.
I think this house was built in like 1920. I think it's over 100 now, maybe.
Oh, the house is gonna come to life. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
I don't know what reason of age this comes from. You have one thing for too long, it becomes like a
I'm pretty sure that's Tsukumogami.
This is a stupid idea. Yes.
It's like Kogasa.
The umbrella is 100 years old.
Oh, she's probably older than that. Like, there's a lot of hints throughout the series that she's, like, fucking ancient as hell.
It's interesting.
Not necessarily
starts
like
and ends with thinking pranks are the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
From childhood to ancienthood.
Like, not so much in the, like, oh, ancient god sort of way, but in, like, the kind of behind-the-times old lady sort of way. Like, Rainu calls her old-fashioned a lot.
I should start throwing firecrackers through people's windows.
There's some other feeling a bit bleaker, something along the lines of regret, guilt, and melancholy. How did he? I was right! The dignified, silver-haired yokai spoke, through his voice in a slight hint of emotion.
Do you want to see items filled with star feelings? Or is there anything I can do for you as a customer?
I want nothing more than to see items stored with feelings.
Yeah, Sam, is Marisa the first option? Said the blonde witch, your mind not ready to be a decent customer.
Then stand from the crate.
Don't stand on the crate.
Rivka came like a
Stand in front
snarky
of the
spike to Marisa, but she gave it more thought. No way there's some in here, is there?
Well, the star doesn't expand into infinity. There will be the Scarlet Mansion instead.
Is the Scarlet Mansion also crazy big like that creepy forest house, or is he just unaware of the creepy forest house with the moon in the basement?
It might be it. I can't remember.
There are some busy architects in this goddamn region.
I'm pretty sure the reason this is like such a consistent thing in Touhou is to explain why the bullet hell stages are so long.
Yeah, you gotta make writing serve a purpose, I suppose.
Like, there's this one, like, really long staircase in Touhou 7, and, you know, it's because the entire staircase is, like, one level. And just, like, flying past it the whole time.
I tell you, we've got a very fond national landmark out here in Australia. It's called the 1,000 Steps. Every time I think about it and the fact that people say to one another, hey, do you want to walk up 1,000 steps today? I think maybe we haven't gotten too far away from a spiritual existence. Maybe there is still a place for the things that you actually can touch, grip, feel. Like sore cows.
World's no spirituality, no magic, few yokai out there. The technology is the redeeming quality. Ooh, the technology makes it worth it, she says. Yeah, there are some yokai out there.
Marissa, you're so bisexual. You love iPhone. Deep fryers. Dang it.
And lying.
And lying.
Ah, so that's because you are so high-esteem in your precious merchandise. That was spend countless hours on sell these. Collecting. That you and Ronnie treat my antique store with such casualness.
A tremendous rain of sweat beads dripping down on any one box. It's living its own bullet hell experience. Dodge this guy's drippiness.
Splinter of the antique and the unknown. It's shining. Can I see the stored feelings or whatever? Without a word, Ryunosuke crouched to lift the wooden lid. Marisa bent over to look. Dust atop stuff atop more stuff. At least, they sometimes differed in shape, texture, and color. Oh, shape, texture, and color. From the few things she managed to identify, she could see a small statue, what seemed to be a mechanical rose, and even a clock in copper. Are there more items like those in the store?
Actually, since the humans outside can fabricate very intricate items in unbelievable proportions, quicker and better than the couple, though I have to admit the engineer is rather resourceful. These items,
Yeah, but I bet they're not even a primary color the whole way down.
and when something isn't rare, but has less emotional value. So among my items, those with star feelings are very precious, because few customers come that can appreciate the power of star feelings. Those items
Does this guy
tend to appear at your window.
sell things?
Yeah.
Or is this like a museum? Oh. I mean, he just never really sells things, I guess.
So the answer clearly, not really. Some items are infused with a better feelings, but here are those with stronger start feelings.
Got it. On display, but not for sold, like my store. Also, so he didn't sell everything. He does sell some things.
Does he have a landlord? Is there like a cute girl with a weird hat that's like, I'm taking your museum away? Has that reached Sweet Jinsokyo? The sheer evil?
Because, well, maybe it's starting to. Because they're currently doing a capitalism arc.
Invasion.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking that entire chapter was about how capitalism doesn't really exist in Gensokyo. Like, they have a currency system, but currency system and capitalism aren't the same thing. In particular, all their currency is just
trade, how I miss you. I want to go to McDonald's and give them, like, roadkill. And I'm like, well, one McNugget, please.
Yeah, like, the point basically is like, Gensokyo ultimately has a bartering system, but they do use paper money as, like, a simplification thing within the bartering system. But it's still ultimately bartering. It's not about the money itself holds no value. The money itself is just there to represent items.
That's the word we're feeling.
Yeah.
It's like a circle if a circle was money instead of a rectangle.
In this crate, there happens to be a gift from your father.
Learning that felt like a blow to her, but it made sense. Still, who really thought she would sit nearby his gift? What kind of gift? What story did it come with? Nosuke hadn't missed the subtle twist in Marisa's expression. Plunging his hands in the crate, he held onto an origami pinwheel of interesting shape, with wondrous and serene chromatic harmony.
It is a story of the naturalist and past, and a Gensokyo best named as fantasy and necessity. The story takes place in a human village, when I was an apprentice of your father. If you wish to listen, you have to promise to keep it a good secret. Shall I make tea for you?
This came so often according to... Yeah.
Is this very true that Marisa Kirasame has like no association with her family? Is this like, I don't know, is this fanon? Is this canon?
This is canon.
What a fascinating wrinkle.
Like, it's canon that it's not as bad terms as it could be, also. Like, this game's being fairly accurate to the Marisa family lore.
The narratively viable kind of disconnect.
Delicate wings turn. When he realized those were the colors of Yukari, the borderless and voyeurist yokai, he gulped. Acoustic phone. I'll take this one down.
I guess I will stop now. It all began with my family, the Marichika.
Dude, it might be starting and ending now.
Yeah. We're going through this fairly slowly. That's why I was speeding up.
Magic is not suited for the yokai.
I want to at least get to her, Dad.
This seems like the kind of game that is 4 hours long. And will probably change your life and never be recommendable thereafter. Most people spend their whole lives trying to meet themselves. You have to be very lucky to meet yourself twice and make a recommendation like this.
Intelligent, resourceful.
They just brought up Neil Armstrong. There's another little bit of fate pie for you.
Oh, Neil Armstrong is so important to TOUHOU lore.
Fantastic.
It is
because of his famously swole arms.
Because he famously went to the moon.
But that's not what he was named after. Doesn't it tick you off that his name's Armstrong, but like the most important thing he did was with his legs? Doesn't that piss you off?
Yeah.
It's annoyed me my whole life. If I could change anything in history, first, kill baby Hitler. Second, name that guy Leg Walk instead.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong is literally why Clown Piece is the way she is.
He left an American baby out there and abandoned her. That's why she's so crazy.
She actually she doesn't actually necessarily know much about America at all. She just knows about that symbol. She knows that
she just likes the graphic design. It's her passion.
She likes how that symbol makes the moon aliens lose their shit.
Furious.
Yeah.
Rageful.
Like that symbol fucks the moon aliens up, and that's why she wears it.
I get it. I love making people mad too.
A pure human and a pure yokai were at the beginning of the chain. Talking about blood purity.
Endogamy. There's no correct way to engage with Touhou. I think he told me once that Mr. Alcohol Boozman himself said that he doesn't want to make a definitive version of this particularity.
So he specifically doesn't want to make an anime because he feels like that would be stifling.
It'd make a most correct version, I guess.
And, like, especially mainstream version.
Yeah. Like how as soon as a musical gets a movie, it's over, you know?
And, like, I was just reading a interview with him the other day, specifically where he was also brought up, somebody asked him about, like, what his favorite fan work is, and he was like, when I see fan works that are really good, I get really jealous.
Predatory beings that prey on men. Watch out, dudes.
Still, even hybrid existences are welcome in the village, as illustrates the key figure of Kane Kamashiro-sawa, the weir Hakataku that protects it. She's friends with Moko.
And so shall she be for a blip in Moko's life.
To integrate the human village, a new half-human has to manifest good traits of the humans as well as become positive factors of their collectivity. That's how I was made to become an apprentice at the Kitasami secondhand store, and how the story of my new name came to be. Human village bustled with noise and passerby. Kids playing, women walking and buying groceries and necessities, men laughing and working. Everything felt new to me. The colors of the clothes, freely flying as people went about. The architecture with proud wood and pillars less imposing than that of the Hackery Shrine.
As soon as we see Marissa's dad, I'm submitting the speedrun record to the website Speedrun Epic.
Gulping and nervous, I reached the door and knocked. Not long after, a young, manly voice sounded.
Enter!
There he is!
Mission accomplished. Now you've got 43 minutes of sweet bliss up until this second. Are you satisfied? This is a coffee establishment. There is a statue in that table.
I can go, I think, a couple minutes longer.
Hello, may I do something for you?
Very well.
Or perhaps are you the son of the mother chica? Greetings.
It's
My
your
name is
Da Vinci
Kevin.
funeral.
And I came to the
It's like a
Kitasami
combination of Da
secondhand
Vinci
store.
Resolve and
Have a
funeral.
nice day. I had a feeling that you will be. Glorious name, I see. I'm Kerry.
Glorious.
My
Ah.
name meaning Mr. Ring. And my first
Thanks,
name
man.
means Peace.
Jesus, no one's ever called me glorious.
You seem hesitating, but don't worry. You will feel
I'd be
that it's
seduced, I
civil.
don't know.
Thanks for your patience.
I'd be like,
I'll be
oh.
in your care.
That implies outcomes.
And his name's Eiko right now instead of
Mike,
Renosuke.
also know. So, do you have any working experience? Not really. Though I did assist another brother to chop hoods the summers for winter. Maybe for 20 years.
Cold
In the
from
forest of
nature.
magic, we
That's
tend to live
destructive.
off what we care from nature. Well, at least you have experienced the discipline of honest work. It's well enough. For the first week, I'll have you look at how to deal with customers. In the next one, I'll teach you what we sell, how it comes here.
I'll teach you
How
what we
will
sell,
take you
back
to
when we
the
still sold
little
things.
around. What do you need me to do now? It's fine for you to just sit by the counter. I understand and greet customers.
Sit there,
politely.
be pretty.
I'll be ending
Don't
this.
not be pretty. Be pretty. Okay.
Store dealt in secondhand items, meaning that some customers came solely for the purpose to get rid of useless and cumbersome stuff. Most of the items were domestic nature.
I guess the merchandises by themselves would be quite lonely, outside of a house and sitting alone on the streets. But when you pair them up,
I admire this.
suddenly you feel like you possess the worlds of many arms. There's also the fact that each item brings its share of family memories, so there's a lot of history in one place. And the sense of the old. It's a diffuse odor that's hard to comprehend, but it's oddly calming. I agree. As the alpha guy, having lived in the forest of magic, I'm more sensitive noses. Where you found a Susan campus, we can pretty much point out why it is.
I would hate having a sensitive nose.
Check out close and tell you.
That'd be terrible. Everything already smells bad.
Yeah,
Maybe I do have a sensitive nose.
There is the
Yeah,
kind
maybe.
of softness of skin, and a bit of the taste of orange. Other than that, there are
I've got a
just
fairly
other
weak
products
nose,
that
which
I
can be
point out.
annoying sometimes when I'm trying to determine how safe food
Well,
is.
when it comes to smell only, I also have an ability as a half worker. I can know the name of an object and its intended use. Oh, that's quite specific, but for a merchant it can be useful. So, does this cloth have its own
I'm
special
gonna
name?
eat uranium.
What has it been used for? Well, because you will sell it, it may change names.
It's enough to
and
keep you
change
going
uses.
for the rest of your
For now,
life.
it's unnamed as one may
Uh-huh.
expect, but it's mostly been used to clear a table. I wonder in what trade will this quirky talent be the most useful? Well, next week we'll be taking a glance at the second floor.
Trying to see if I can get
That's all
something
this
romantic, but
There's at least a few.
I think it's gonna be slow going.
There's hours yet to
Yeah.
kissing. Unless this guy, like, parts the kimono really soon, and that's the item to take a look at.
Time flew by. Stopped me in my
Oh.
tracks, holding my arm. I turned towards him and ceased to move as he poured a cup of sake for me and him. Curious about it, I took the cup he handed me and looked at the dazzling younger man.
That's it for today. I got the sake signs the deal. Oh,
he just loves to
what is
drink.
this spot of the holiday? Is drinking
I thought he would
sake
drink
at the
deeply
end of
from
the
yonder
holiday
lips.
a common thing among humans? It's your words. For some people, you can even become sworn brothers.
Or
Although
sworn
I
something
take
else
sake
that
if you use
rhymes.
A special Sakazuki set. Do you have an idea for
Mothers.
I don't
Something
know
else
if
that rhymes.
everything needs a reason to come to be, but if I
Rudders.
had to take a guess,
Like on boats.
that'd be because I caught
Something else that
Captain
rhymes.
and makes you wish
Sluggers. Baseball
it's
champions.
also nice to break the ice of. Do you consider alcohol as luxurious by nature?
What's a luxury? Private plane. Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
Though it's a pain to make, and some tastes can actually be quite difficult to brew. So, in some sense, probably.
It's interesting that
Drink
alcohol is
already.
terrible.
Kyohei, upon Yunosuke sneezing, or Eiko, sneezing, laughed from ear to ear. A flush of red covered my cheeks.
Well then, I'm gonna go upstairs, since I live on the third floor.
Were you able to get home? A bit touched by his care, I replied while toying with my hair. Ooh.
I can probably manage. See you tomorrow.
Oh,
kid.
why are you telling Marissa all of this?
Good tomorrow.
Did you fuck my dad, Cody?
standing there, and it's like, what? Toying with your hair? What? Tatami.
By human standards, she would appear in the prime of adulthood because she's 60s and she ages slower.
I would say.
Yeah, her species is like fucking stand users, not stand users, Ripple users. Yeah,
I'd
I'm
say
visiting
a
this around the
60-year-old
point.
woman is well in her prime.
Age 22, with the appearance of a teenage girl. Only present was Nijiko. Book told us the business.
Oh, dude, she's reading about weed. Fiend. I can meet her golden eyes hazed with that slick green. Dear brother, take a puff of this shit. Those will take you straight to 7 hells. That sounds terrible, Nijiko.
So I felt a bit of tension at first.
Oh
It
god,
was quite
I was so
cold,
scared for a second I thought
the
Nijiko
other-
was
like,
identical to
quite
Aiko.
feeling.
Second, it's Estelle.
Secondhand items. You
With a
goddamn stoner! Isn't it obvious?
The words of domestic items. Candles. Customers can
I'm summoning that little British boy that kicks your ass. He's a yokai. He's the only yokai that still leaves Jinsokyo. He's busy at work.
She went back to the herbal book.
Do you want to eat
Herbal book,
kebab?
I love that.
Reading about nature.
I'm sick already. I'll ask the owner if he has some leftover books.
I just miss nature. And getting to look at and sniff and touch this tree corpse is making me so happy. Anyone else here a huge fan of touching a dead, tree and hallucinating for a couple of hours?
Shot flashed in my mind as well the manly and comforting owner, his rough neck, the drawn musculature under his howdy. Scenes from today met my thoughts, and I fell asleep tired of my first day at work.
Honk, me.
Yeah.
It's Joe Warida.
That's a good ending point.
I really enjoyed this illumination on objects and meaning and belief.
With just a hint of gayness.
Interrupted by, I need that guy's fucking cock.
I'm satisfied with the at least hint of homosexuality that we got in this episode.
Well, dating advice fans, go and share a teddy bear you loved once with someone who's about to become a teddy bear. That changes things. Good, bad, who knows? Nothing actually makes any sense at all.
And dating advice will probably continue to pop up from now and again. It won't be an entire themed, series.
I'm out of dating advice. I don't even know what love is.
Next week, at least, we're probably gonna go for something a lot more romantic lists.
Scary. Probably Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be straight Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm just gonna put up a JPEG of Koichi Kameji in the corner. This is Touhou Tuesday now. We don't even play Touhou anymore.
I do own Five Nights at Freddy's too, technically, that I can't get rid of.
I'll see if I can't produce a illustrious JPEG of a yellow-green woman.
I guess we're committed to this now.
Thy will be done. Thy buns be glazed. Touhou Tuesday.
Freddy.
Ow, my bones! Fuck. And my boner. What if it was muscular under his howdy?
Good night, all. Don't get killed by animatronics.
Gay night to you, dweeb. I'm in the dweeb one.